What happens when a strict traditionalist like Ed Sullivan encounters a bold, free-spirited singer craving artistic expression? The answer is a clash of ideals that often leads to unforgettable moments on stage. Ed Sullivan, a man of rules and decorum, found himself at odds with performers who pushed boundaries and challenged the status quo. This tension created a unique atmosphere on his show, where the desire for creativity met the constraints of conventional television. One notable incident involved a singer whose provocative style and lyrics shocked Sullivan and his audience. The singer's performance was filled with energy and rebellion, leaving Sullivan visibly uncomfortable. As the singer belted out their song, the audience erupted in applause, while Sullivan's stern demeanor suggested disapproval. This moment highlighted the struggle between the need for artistic freedom and the expectations of mainstream entertainment. Another memorable encounter featured a band that incorporated unconventional instruments and wild choreography. Sullivan, known for his polished productions, found it difficult to embrace their chaotic energy. The performance sparked debates about what was acceptable on television, showcasing the divide between Sullivan's vision and the evolving landscape of music and performance art. These incidents reveal the ongoing battle between tradition and innovation, illustrating how Ed Sullivan's rigid standards often clashed with the vibrant creativity of the artists he showcased. The resulting tension not only entertained viewers, but also paved the way for future generations of performers to express themselves without fear of censorship. Renowned for hosting one of television's most influential shows, Ed Sullivan became a significant figure in American entertainment. His program aired for over 2 decades, showcasing some of the biggest names in music, comedy, and variety acts. Artists like Elvis Presley, the Beatles, and countless others graced his stage, making it a coveted platform for those seeking mainstream exposure. Sullivan's reputation as a gatekeeper of American culture meant that he had the power to elevate careers and shape public taste. However, his conservative values often clashed with the evolving cultural landscape of the mid-20th century. As an arbiter of taste and decency, he prioritized content that appealed to a broad audience, steering clear of controversy. This approach created a framework where creative expression was frequently constrained by societal norms. While he promoted talent and provided opportunities for many, he also represented a figure of resistance for artists who sought to challenge the status quo. Sullivan's legacy is a complex blend of celebration and limitation, reflecting the tensions between tradition and innovation in American entertainment. In 1955, Bo Diddley made a significant impact on The Ed Sullivan Show, showcasing his unique rhythm and energy that would help define rock and roll. Known for his innovative guitar techniques and the distinctive Bo Diddley beat, he was a true trailblazer in a genre that was rapidly changing the music landscape. When Diddley chose to perform his own hit song instead of the assigned 16 tons, he made a powerful statement about his artistic identity. This decision was not just about the song. It symbolized a larger cultural shift where emerging rock and roll artists began to push back against the traditional entertainment norms. Diddley's defiance highlighted the growing spirit of rebellion that characterized the rock and roll era, contrasting sharply with Sullivan's preference for conformity. However, this bold move came with consequences, as Diddley was never invited back to the show. This incident illustrated the tensions between the established entertainment industry and the new wave of artists who were eager to express their individuality and creativity. Sullivan was known for his strict control over the content of his show, which made his fallout with Diddley particularly significant. When Diddley chose to perform his own music instead of sticking to the planned script, Sullivan felt deeply upset. To Sullivan, following the program was not just a matter of routine, it was a sign of professionalism and respect for the platform he had by Lieutenant Diddley's decision, while showcasing his artistic integrity, was perceived by Sullivan as a breach of trust. This incident highlighted a cultural divide that was growing in America during that time. On one side was the traditional entertainment establishment, represented by Sullivan, who valued conformity and adherence to established norms. On the other side were the new wave of rock and roll artists like Diddley, who prioritized authenticity and self-expression over the expectations of the mainstream. The fallout from this incident led Sullivan to exclude Diddley from future appearances, a move that reaffirmed his authority, but also exposed the limitations of his approach. As American music and culture evolved, Sullivan's rigid standards struggled to accommodate the changing landscape, revealing a tension between the old guard and the emerging voices of a new generation. Bob Dylan's appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1963 marked a pivotal moment in his career, showcasing his dedication to artistic integrity. At that time, Dylan had already made a name for himself as a powerful voice for social change. He planned to perform Talkin' John Birch Paranoid Blues, a song that cleverly satirized political extremism and the paranoia associated with the right-wing John Birch Society. The song's sharp humor and critical perspective pushed the limits of what was deemed acceptable for national television. When the producers of the show asked Dylan to select a less controversial song, he stood firm in his beliefs and refused to compromise. This decision meant walking away from a significant opportunity to connect with a wider audience. Dylan's act of defiance not only reinforced his image as an uncompromising artist, but also underscored the growing tensions between commercial entertainment and the countercultural movements that were emerging in the 1960s. His choice resonated with many who valued authenticity over conformity, making his stance a defining moment in the landscape of American music and culture. During their appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show, the Byrds encountered significant challenges that affected their performance. The band, known for their unique blend of folk and rock music, had already made a name for themselves with hits like Mr. Tambourine Man and Turn, 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 Turn. They were key players in the 1960s folk rock movement, but their time on the show was marred by technical difficulties. The audio was poorly mixed, and the sound equipment was inadequate, which failed to showcase their intricate harmonies and the distinctive sound of their 12-string guitar. Behind the scenes, a sense of disorganization added to their struggles, leaving the band feeling unprepared for their performance. This lack of preparation was compounded by a clash between the Byrds' countercultural ethos and the conservative expectations of Sullivan's show. The band members felt a disconnect between their artistic vision and the mainstream television format, leading to mutual dissatisfaction. This experience underscored the difficulties rock bands faced in trying to adapt to the constraints of television while remaining true to their creative identities. Elvis Presley's appearances on The Ed Sullivan Show marked a significant moment in the history of rock and roll and its relationship with mainstream media. As the king of rock and roll, Presley captivated audiences with his dynamic stage presence and energetic performances. His provocative dance moves, particularly his gyrating hips, drew both admiration and criticism. Many conservative viewers found his style inappropriate, leading to a cultural clash between the emerging rock and roll scene and traditional values. During his third appearance in 1957, the producers of the show, including Ed Sullivan himself, made the controversial decision to film Presley from the waist up. This choice symbolized the ongoing struggle between artistic expression and societal norms. Despite this limitation, Presley's electrifying charisma shone through, allowing him to connect with viewers and solidify his status as a cultural icon. The tension between his uninhibited performance style and Sullivan's more conservative approach reflected the broader societal shifts of the 1950s. Rock and roll was not just music. It was a movement that challenged established norms and paved the way for a new era of entertainment. As Presley continued to perform, he became a symbol of youthful rebellion and freedom, resonating with a generation eager for change. His influence extended beyond music, impacting fashion, dance, and attitudes toward sexuality. The Ed Sullivan Show served as a crucial platform for Presley, helping to bridge the gap between rock and roll and mainstream acceptance. This relationship would shape the future of television and music, illustrating how art can provoke thought and inspire change in society. The Doors' appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1967 marked a pivotal moment in music history, showcasing the clash between artistic expression and societal norms. The band, known for their provocative lyrics and electrifying performances, faced a significant challenge when asked to alter the lyrics of their hit song Light My Fire. The specific line, "Girl, we couldn't get much higher," was deemed too suggestive, hinting at drug use, which was a sensitive topic during that era. Jim Morrison, the charismatic frontman, made a bold choice during the live broadcast. Instead of complying with a request to change the lyrics, he defiantly sang the original line. This act of rebellion was not just a personal statement. It resonated with the growing counterculture movement that sought to challenge the status quo. Morrison's casual dismissal of the potential repercussions highlighted the band's unwavering commitment to their artistic integrity. This moment solidified the Doors' reputation as fearless artists willing to confront censorship head-on. It also underscored the increasing tension between the counterculture and the establishment, as the band stood firm in their beliefs despite the risks involved. Their performance became a symbol of resistance, reflecting the spirit of a generation that sought to break free from societal constraints. The Doors' defiance on such a prestigious platform as the Ed Sullivan Show left an indelible mark on music history, illustrating the power of art to challenge and provoke thought. During their performance on the Ed Sullivan Show, Buddy Holly and the Crickets encountered numerous challenges that highlighted the tensions between the emerging rock and roll scene and the established entertainment industry. Technical difficulties with the sound equipment created a frustrating environment for the band, making it hard for them to deliver their energetic performance. Sullivan's dismissive attitude towards the group added to the strain, as he preferred a more subdued approach to music, which clashed with the vibrant spirit of rock and roll. Despite this, Holly and the Crickets were determined to perform their hit song, "Oh Boy," showcasing their commitment to connecting with their youthful audience. This choice was a bold statement against the expectations of the traditional media landscape of the 1950s. The situation was further complicated when Sullivan mispronounced their name during the introduction, which underscored the disconnect between the rock and roll movement and the conservative entertainment establishment. Holly's visible frustration reflected the broader struggles faced by artists trying to break through in a world that often resisted change. The experience served as a reminder of the challenges that came with being a pioneer in a rapidly evolving musical landscape. During their performance on the Ed Sullivan Show, the Rolling Stones faced significant censorship that highlighted the cultural tensions of the 1960s. The band, known for their rebellious image and music, was asked to change the lyrics of their song, "Let's spend the night together," to "Let's spend some time together." This request reflected the conservative standards of the show and the broader societal expectations of the time. Mick Jagger's exaggerated eye roll while singing the altered lyrics became a memorable moment, symbolizing a subtle act of defiance against the constraints imposed by the establishment. This incident showcased the clash between the counterculture's desire for authenticity and the insistence on conformity from mainstream media. The Stones' resistance resonated deeply with a generation eager to break free from societal norms, reinforcing their status as cultural icons. Their music and attitude captured the spirit of a time when young people sought to express their individuality and challenge the status quo. The performance remains a significant moment in rock history, illustrating the ongoing struggle between artistic expression and societal expectations. Ed Sullivan's clashes with various artists on his show reflected the significant cultural shifts occurring in the mid-20th century. His program became a battleground where the values of tradition often collided with the forces of innovation. Sullivan aimed to maintain a family-friendly atmosphere, which was a hallmark of his show. However, the artists he invited frequently pushed against these boundaries, embodying the rising influence of rock and roll and the broader countercultural movements of the time. These moments of tension were not merely personal disagreements. They symbolized a larger societal struggle between the old and the new. For instance, when rock bands like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones appeared, they brought with them a wave of youthful rebellion that challenged the norms of the era. Sullivan's attempts to balance these competing forces highlighted the transformative power of music and entertainment in shaping public attitudes. The conflicts that arose during these performances not only defined the legacy of Sullivan's show, but also illustrated how entertainment could serve as a mirror to the changing values of society. The interactions between Sullivan and the artists he hosted became emblematic of a generation grappling with its identity, showcasing the dynamic relationship between culture and the arts during a pivotal time in history. The clash between Ed Sullivan and the bold singer exemplified a significant moment in television history. Sullivan, known for his strict adherence to traditional values, found himself challenged by artists who sought to break free from the constraints of conventional performance. The singer's provocative style and daring lyrics not only shocked Sullivan but also captivated the audience, creating a memorable spectacle. As the singer poured their heart into the performance, the audience's enthusiastic response contrasted sharply with Sullivan's discomfort. This dynamic illustrated the tension between artistic expression and the expectations of mainstream entertainment. Moreover, the encounter with the band that embraced unconventional instruments and wild choreography further highlighted this struggle. Sullivan's polished productions clashed with the band's chaotic energy, sparking discussions about what was deemed acceptable on television. These moments on the Ed Sullivan Show became pivotal in shaping the future of performance art, as they showcased the ongoing battle between tradition and innovation. The tension created an environment where artists could push boundaries, ultimately paving the way for future generations to explore their creativity without fear of censorship.